welcome. Round 5 of the Telstra Premiership. This is Inside Ball. Kevin Walters, Ben Dobb in the preview. Oh, rugby league, just the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
Hello,
Dobbo.
Kevin.
How are you, Dobbo?
Good, mate. Good.
Round 5 already, mate. How quick is this gone?
And Easter.
Yeah.
You beauty.
What are you doing for Easter?
Working. If you're in rugby league, you work in Easter.
Yeah.
Like we have a family tradition tomorrow, Friday, called Happy Seafood Day, where Am's family all come together. We're at Rainbow Bay. Then we have Happy Seafood Day there.
What's the seafood that gets tossed around?
Prawnios, bugs.
Oysters?
Oysters. I'm an oysters man, but bugs they heavily feature bugs, which I like. Yeah, I'm just a prawn man, mate.
What about any mud crab or sand crab?
There's a bit of sand crab, a little bit of fish, a few fries.
Where's it all purchased from? Because I know you don't buy it.
Yeah, we get it now. Just over the border, South Tweed.
The trawler.
Scales. It's called Scales.
Right.
Very good
there's
there.
A plug for Scales.
There's a plug for
Throw in
Scales.
a couple more.
They do get
bugs.
a little bit exy at this time of the year.
Yeah.
And I will say this now, nothing wrong with a Woolworths prawn. Nothing wrong with a Woolworths prawn. If you just go there at the right time, very, very good. Anyway, happy Easter, everybody. I hope you get to see your family. Tomorrow, Dolphins take on, and we'll get to this, Dolphins take on Manly. I'm working at that game. Let's just go through some of the big issues.
Couple of topics. What are you going to start with?
Karapani, Josiah Karapani. Now,
So they played Friday night, the Broncos.
Friday night,
He's gone out in the valley.
of course,
Got
he's a
into
young
some
man.
trouble. Yeah, he's allowed to go out.
Got into some trouble. He's been
Who was
dropped.
he with? Was he with other
He's
Broncos
with his
players?
family. No, he's with his family and some
Right.
friends. They've had a scuffle.
Have they?
Young man, probably drunk too much, and Madge has dropped him. Now, I will say this: at least he's consistent, because Gemmet Shibasaki behaved like a lunatic last year.
Yep.
He got a spell. Josiah Karapani was arguably their best player. I thought, he was unbelievable.
Well, he's continually
he's just
playing at high level.
Very, very good footballer.
Yep.
Mate, you debuted him. You debuted Josiah Karapani, so you identified how good he was when he was, you got him from South Sydney, is that right?
Yeah, he was in the South system.
Yeah, and you got him there.
Ventured north.
Yeah, good footballer.
Good player, but only still young, maturing. Not
Right
late.
decision?
I think so, yeah. You've got a hard line on this sort of behaviour against the standards, of the club. So you'll miss a week. No different to what happened last year with Gemmet Shibasaki. So maintaining the standards. The fortunate thing about the Broncos is they've got Jesse Arthurs and Gemmet just parked there on the sidelines,
Yeah.
I saw one of the media outlets did a salary cap, a real value salary cap.
Yeah.
And the Broncos were over by, we all know that.
Yeah.
And they actually, their value of their players, their top 30, is the most in the NRL. The actual real value.
Real value.
What someone...
Well, they're lucky that they've got third parties. I mean, let's be honest. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't actually know what the third parties are. But there are plenty of players that are on the books getting less, and they're not rorting the cap. They just got third parties because
they're a big club.
They're a big club,
well
people,
supported.
and they've got corporates who like I know a bloke who's a third party for Ben Hunt. Everybody's saying, Ben Hunt's getting looked after. He's getting looked after. Right decision.
And all those third parties have got to be approved by the NRL. So it's all above board. We're not saying there.
Kieran Foran, coach.
Yeah. Look, I've thought about this the last couple. I think it's a bit unfair on Kieran. Like, it's a big job coaching an NRL side, particularly that Manly club, who are under a lot of pressure to perform. And Kieran's just finished playing.
Mate, he was playing last November in the Pacific Championships.
Yeah, and I know he loves a challenge, and he's a very competitive person, right?
Yeah.
So, and Manly look to be going down the line of we want an ex-player coaching our club. Would that be?
Let's just call it for it. They needed somebody. They didn't have the confidence. They didn't have the confidence in Jim Dimmick or Brett Kamali, right? They're the other assistants.
But they're more experienced than
Kev. They want a Manly man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they got that.
Oh, well, they've got him as an interim. Now I'm close to this. Kieran Foran ain't going to be the coach next year. Right. There's going to be an interview process. Right. And some of the names, and I'm telling you now, Matt Ballin's going to be on that list.
Yep.
Brad Arthur's going to be on that list. Michael Innes will be on that list. But I think it's Matt Ballance. He's in a Matt Ballance. He's in the hot
prime
seat, prime position. Now Jason King is the CEO.
Well, Matt Ballon played with King, so
Jason King's a very, very smart man.
Yeah,
he's
he's
an
been in the
ex-lawyer.
NRL. Yeah.
He's been there. He's smart. So, and he's Manly DNA, and that's what they want to get back to. They want to get back to the Manly DNA. Now,
I don't disagree with that at all.
The rumours were that they're trying to get Frank Panisi as a football coach, as the head of football,
floating around yesterday on socials.
Mate, if they get that, well, good. They're not going to get him, but
no,
that's the kind of bloke
Frank
they need to get.
Panisi's kids went to school. Well, it's a time with the school across the road from Brookvale.
Yeah, they're
Manly people.
Manly people. What I'll say is though that why not get Des? You want to? I'm being here as the head of football. Like you want to get Manly. Like give him a role. Like he's not going to coach. Like he doesn't have to talk to the media, but to run the football department with the coach and help them. That's what they need, and don't rule that out.
See, because what Kieran needs to understand with head coaching, 10% of it is actually on the grass coaching.
Yeah.
The rest of it, of your time, of your 12-hour day, is spent working with players, working with staff, working with sponsors, working with the CEO.
Sure.
Working with fans, working with the media.
Trying to manage the media. That's a big part of it.
So
many a man has come unstuck.
Kieran's ability to... He understands the game really well, as good as anyone in the game.
Yeah, but I don't think he thinks he's ready. It's going to be a tough... Look, anyway, the bounce back will be whether or not they get back tomorrow
Jeff Tuvey's name's been thrown around as well.
Well, he might be a great football manager, but they're getting Manly DNA. I know that Brett Stewart, Anthony Watmow are behind the scenes. They are wanting Manly back to where it was. Mm. It has gone away from the club that they all know, and to be honest with you, so... They're doing a rebuild. Now, whether or not that means they're going to get sold, I don't know.
Sold?
Well,
Depends on Manly, doesn't it?
Depends on Manly. It's valued somewhere around 30 mil. Might not be that much.
You got that line in your backyard. You should buy Manly.
It's not as dumb as it sounds. I haven't got that kind of money, but I mean, it is a very good thing.
Well, you got prawns and oysters at Easter time.
No, come on, I'm not paying for that.
Okay.
The mafia is.
So that's Manly, right?
That's Manly. So if you look at Manly and they've sacked the coach up to 3 rounds, you've got to look at St George Illawarra. And I like Shane Flanagan. He's a premiership winning coach. But you sack Seabold after, like last year, St George didn't do that well.
No, they won. He re-signed, extended for 2 more years.
Yep.
They won one game. I think it was against Cronulla.
Yeah.
And then they lost their last 4 games.
Right. Okay. So then you come in this year. Everybody, a lot of people, myself included, have had them as the spoon, right? Off the back of the Charity Shield was where it really highlighted to me that they had some fundamental issues because the south side that trotted out.
But their trial form wasn't that great. But they went to Vegas.
They went to Vegas. They went to Golden Point.
Well,
they got beaten. Since then, week on week on week on week, it's got progressively worse. Now, is Shane Flanagan under pressure? I think every coach is under pressure, but I don't think they're going to. I don't think that it's going to. It's going to happen. That Keon Kalmatungi's going there next year. Philip Sami's going there so far next year. But the elephant in the room is the halves. Now, we know this week Kyle Flanagan is out because of the dreadful head knock. And I can't imagine what it was like as a father watching your son being knocked out unconscious for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But King Tongi is in there. And let's just see how the Atkinson-King Tongia halves combination goes.
Mm. Well, he finished the game off at the Titans, didn't he, for the last 15 minutes or so. But if they lose this week, Dobbo, the Dragons, that's none from 5.
Yep.
That's never happened in the merger's history since 1999.
So are you saying Kosamui?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I understand as a coach.
Well, he'd be worried. He'd be worried.
And he would be worried.
Because you know why? There's a bloke by the name of Dean Young who is raring to go, who's an assistant, who is St George Illawarra DNA.
Yep.
And Dean Young is going to be the next coach there. It might not be this year, it might not be next year, it might not be the year after. But Dean Young is the next St George Illawarra coach.
Yep.
So, and you've got an outside CEO who is not mucking around, who comes from supercars. So he's a businessman.
Mm.
And so I don't think Shane Flanagan is under pressure. I don't think he's like they're having discussions about it. But if this rot keeps on going,
Well, the roster that he has, it's
some good footballers there.
yeah, but
Well, hang on,
well, I'm not saying there's not, but
mate.
there's probably not enough good footballers there.
Damien Cook, Jaden Sewer, Val Holmes, Clint Gutherson, Crouchman. I'm just saying, but you can't. Don't blame the roster. All right, you can't blame the roster because I'm telling you, the West Tigers don't blame the roster, right? And look what they're doing.
The Tigers roster's better than the Dragons roster.
Is the Titans roster better?
No.
And look what happened. So there you go. I mean, I'm just saying.
Is the Titans roster better than
St George Illawarra?
I think it is. Yeah.
Let's have a look at this St George Illawarra because I like those kind of chats. Let's have a look at the team list. Okay, Clint.
You're going one for one.
One for one. Clint Gutherson. Where do you say over Scott Drinkwater? Let's go last week.
I'm going to take the leg. I'm going to take the fresh legs.
No, I'm going to go last week, and we're going to do one for one.
Listen. Let's just move on, right?
No. I want to do this because this is interesting.
I won't be answering this.
I'll be doing this.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to do this because this is the kind of stuff that
Do this week. Do this week. Dragons.
Clint Gutherson, Keanu Kinney. Mungutho. Faimani, Tuapolotu. Jojo Fafita, Val Holmes. AJ Brimson, Hayden Buchanan. I'm going to say Brimson. Terrell Sloan, Sami. I think it's an even match, right? Kyle Flanagan, Lachlan Ilias. Flanagan. Jaden Campbell, Atkinson. Jaden Campbell. So they're evens. Tino versus Emre Gula. Tino. Damien Cook's better than Verrills. Blake Laurie is better than Cleese Haas. Blocker Laurie. Then you got Luciano Leilua, Aramaho, Leilua. Jaden Sewer over Beau Fermor. Jaden Sewer.
Yeah,
Sele, Chris Randall, even. Mate, come on.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, mate. I mean, the Titans outplayed them and outcoached. So there is some pressure there. Right. Paixy signing a 2-year extension. I don't know how you got bought into it in the paper. I don't know how you got bought into it. I mean, anyway, just leave that. But I'll just say this now. Well done to Paixy, your premiership hooker. But I don't like it, and I'll tell you why I don't like it. I think Corey Paix is a good footballer. But something's going to have to give there. You got Ben Hunt, right? You got Cam Bukowski. You've got Blake Moser. You've got Bill. And you got Corey Paix. So that's 6 hookers, right? That's 6 hookers. Now, so
2 of those are utilities, right? Billy.
Well, dev list as well. Bukowski's a dev list, so he's got another year. But if I'm the Dolphins, right, like I'm just saying, you got Jeremy Marshall-King that's coming back. And we love Plathie, but Plathie ain't
he's a middle forward.
He's a middle forward, and he's been helping.
If the Dolphins are playing finals, Max Plath
he's 13.
He's playing 13
or off the bench. Yeah. So for me, if I'm the Dolphins, I'm going and signing Bukowski and Bill. That's me, because you know what?
Signed 2 of those players, don't you?
Yeah, well, you have to, because you have to get both of them, because you've got Marshall King, and Marshall King is at the back end of his career and he's getting injured. He's very good, but you've got to get a
genuine 9.
It has to get a genuine 9. So Paix is the long-term 9 there, and you would think Moser as well. They're going to keep Moser. That's the honest.
And Bukowski as well.
But, I think Bukowski's got 1 more year, and I don't think he'll be there. I don't. But if I'm the Dolphins, go and sign Billy Walters. Go and sign him. Or if I'm Perth Bears, go and sign Billy Walters. I know this is not for you.
No.
He's coming off an injury.
It's not just Billy. You go and find 2 of those hookers and just pull them out of there.
Yeah, Bukowski and Billy. That's what I'd be doing. I'd leave Moser, because Moser's obviously he's next man up. So they're not going to let Moser. They're not going to trade Moser out of there. They're just not.
Ben Hunt, is he going to be there next year?
Well, it's whether or not he re-signs. I think with Renault coming out, and look, mate, the jury's out on Jonah at the moment. Jonah's going there. He's going to take some time. So you're going to need Ben Hunt as backup there next year. I think Ben Hunt and Duffy's not where they think he is. So, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I think Ben Hunt gets another go. Renault's certainly not. He is retiring.
Yeah, he's had enough.
So it's an interesting take on that hooking role. I was surprised. I'm surprised that they did a 2-year deal. I really am. He wanted 3, Paixy. Paixy wanted a 3-year deal. So it's just interesting what you think.
Yeah, I'll stay out of that because I'll get myself in trouble, you know. So.
No, well, I mean,
I can't comment
it's your
on that.
son. It's you're not talking as a coach. You're talking about your son. Your son, you believe, is the best hooker in that squad.
Well, I'm not saying anything about it, Dobbo. So what's next, mate? What have we got? Thursday?
Gee whiz, we've hit a raw near there on inside ball. Okay, let's start previewing the games.
Right. Dolphins Manly.
I'll be at this game. I'll be out there. You coming out there for this one?
No, I won't be. No, it's at KO. I don't travel north.
You know, I do. I'll be at.
What are you doing?
I'm on the sideline. I'm on the sideline there
for Triple M.
Yeah, and for Channel 9, I'll be doing a bit of work for the news.
Right.
Kieran Foran's first game. Donahue back.
Mate, they're in trouble this game, Manly. They are in trouble. This is going to be a good performance from the Dolphins. I thought they were okay. Good luck. It was a tough game last week against the Broncos. I just think Manly, change of coach. I'm trying to remember what the history is when a coach, they don't always win and there's a change of coach for some reason.
Short turnaround. It's been a tough week, no question.
There's a lot to work on for Manly. And their depth in the forwards, where the Dolphins are really strong. And look, but the two fullbacks.
Mate, going to be good. Travojevic versus Hammer.
Yeah. They're both try scorers.
I actually think you'll see Trey Fuller come into this a bit more. He's a genuine game breaker. I think he'll be in that.
Yeah, he's been sitting on the pine but not getting on.
Not getting on. He's been playing club and he's been tearing them to bits in club.
In Queensland Cup,
Queensland Cup, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's
a first
his pay rate is.
Yeah. So you think Dolphins?
I think the Dolphins.
By what?
By a bit of a margin, and I'm going to say the Clear Mountain Stud difference this week is going to be for the Dolphins, right?
Right. I like this.
It's going to be the fullback, the Hammer. He's a try scorer.
Yeah. Okay. So let me talk about this. The Worthy call, the Clear Mountain Stud difference. Now, all thanks to Worthy Cause is running hot this season, already produced in his stud career. Group 1 winning hinged by the first
Talk about producing.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Hot off the press and scintillating form, worthy enough. Just won his third start in a row in the prestigious Toowoomba Guineas 3-year-old on last Friday, King of the Mountain. Now he looks to be very talented. Hatchett won a 3 in succession in Brisbane. He's had over $700,000. I can't tell you about this service fee of Worthy Cause. We've seen him. He's a great stallion. And Clear Mountain Stud are a big part of this show with the difference. And we love Worthy Cause. Beautiful natured horse, 8,800, ideal for breeding commercially. And you know what? Got speed to burn.
Yeah,
just like the Hammer.
Exactly,
speed to burn.
Right.
We love that. So the Hammer's the difference. Okay, you're tipping Dolphins. I am as well. Easter Friday is always a big one. 50,000. Rabbitohs, Bulldogs. South have won 6 of the last 7 versus the Dogs. Campbell Graham back. AJ scored, plenty. Sam Hughes returns. I like the Rabbits. I like the Rabbits.
You got off the Dogs?
Well, mate, I've been off them all year since they sacked Jason Taylor as their attack coach and brought Adam O'Brien in.
Right.
I think they look flawed at the moment. Now, I'm not going to go as far as saying dogs of bore, but, as other media, but I just think their attack is really stale.
It is stale, but it did look a lot better when they switched.
Crichton to 5'8"?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Come on, mate. Galvin's the issue there, mate.
And Burton.
Galvin's the issue.
I'm not
Sean
saying
O'Sullivan.
that. I'm just saying.
Sean O'Sullivan is sitting there like he's a genuine 7.
What about the young kid that's...
Well, he's not ready yet, mate. He's not
what are you going to do with Galvin, Dobbo?
Well, I don't know.
They've got to persevere with Galvin.
Well, how
and
long
Burton.
do you persevere?
Well, you got to keep going, mate, right? It'll happen for them.
I'll tell you what, the fans will turn.
Their defence is what's keeping them in game.
That is. Yeah.
Last week,
you know what Newcastle did? They bashed them.
Through the middle.
And guess what?
And the Dolphins have got middle forwards to do that as well.
No, South are going to absolutely... South are going to rip into them.
Yeah.
So look at David Fafita. Watch for David Fafita, big game. So I'm really happy with this one. Okay, so who are you tipping?
I'm a bit of a South fan. I like what they're doing there. Wayne walked out of the dressing room last week, didn't he? They won, but he was upset.
He was upset. They've
They're
had the
fresh
bye.
off the bye.
Yeah.
This is always a big game.
Yeah. Good Friday. Let's roll. I'm with you. The Rabbitohs win this one.
But the Bulldogs faithful will be there in numbers too, won't they?
55, they reckon.
Yeah, okay. That's great for the game.
Crowd. Panthers take on Storm, Combank Stadium. Like, normally I'm like, oh, this is going to be a belter. No, I just will say really feeling for Melbourne and Tui Kamakamita. They have a stroke.
Yeah.
That's harrowing. Off the back of the Eli Katoa injury, they have had a wretched run. Now, there's nothing behind it. Mitch Kenny suspended. Freddie Lusty comes in. There's no stopping Penrith.
No.
Not at the moment.
No. Their attack is just really on song. They scored 30 points in 40 minutes against Para the other day. And their defence,
Casey McLean is just unbelievable.
They just work so well together from the inside, their line speed, their contact. Their defence has been really impressive. 7.5 points a game against. That's what they're conceding.
Don't. Stop. Stop.
What?
Had 20 put on them last week. Okay?
The average for the season.
I don't care about the average for the season. Brisbane was scrubs the first week, right? Brisbane were dreadful the first week.
First 2 weeks, they were dreadful.
Yeah. And you know what? They just had 20 put on them. So let's not throw out the 7.5. Penrith.
Just because I'm a Penrith fan, mate. You hate Penrith, don't you? You dislike them. Hate's a strong word. I'm going to take that back. Yeah. You dislike Penrith.
Immensely.
You're jealous.
Immensely. No, I'm not. 7.5.
Did you see their jerseys?
Yeah, I did. Old school. Retro. Yes. Sats.
You went and bought one, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I would never buy a Penrith jersey. They're arch enemies, mate. Who are you tipping?
Of course, Penrith's attack and defence is
bellyache.
Really
come
good.
on, mate. Come to Papa.
Yeah.
Under siege. Come to Papa. I'm tipping Penrith.
They'll be better.
I'm tipping Penrith.
Yeah, I know you will be. The Storm will be better. This is at Combank too, so that makes it even tougher, for the Storm. When's Xavier Coates back? They're screaming.
Another 2 weeks.
Another 2 weeks.
Yeah. I got Jermaine Azarko, which is a good sign. We talked about that earlier this week.
I think the Storm will be in a bit of trouble until they get Xavier Coates back. They just don't have that backline depth.
I'm with you. Saturday sees Dragons taking on the Cowboys, 4:30 at Cogra.
Wow.
And we said this earlier, Dragons have never started an 0-5. King Tongia in 6. Now the Cowboys, they've just turned it round. They've won their last 6 against the Dragons.
Yeah.
Tom Chester returns from suspension.
That's a good in for the Cows.
Look, Cows have won the last 2. They've got this week, then they play the Bronx.
Look, let's just focus on this week. Next week.
No, but I'm just saying, I think they get beaten. I think the Cowboys get beaten.
By the Dragons? No, well, I'm going to go against you here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Val Holmes has a point to prove against his old club. He's still pissed off that he's at St George Illawarra.
Is he?
Yeah, it's been 2 years now. I just have this feeling.
The Dobbo feel.
I just got this feeling, mate. The Cowboys are a bit like the Warriors. When you back them, they always let you down, and when you give them doubt, they come.
Well, I disagree with you. I think they've found a bit of form, a bit of their mojo, particularly Drinkwater at the back. He's been very good since everyone was on his back and riding him about this and that. He was very good last week, and I think he'll be good again. And I think their attack will have too much for the Dragons. The Dragons, they don't seem to be able to score many points either. They're lacking a bit of strike. So I think the Cowboys will win this one. I think they'll win it comfortably.
Okay, righto. Well, we're disagreeing on that one.
Yeah.
This is the M1 battle, which I've got. I'll be calling this one.
You're going down the M1?
We've got Todd Carney and
this will be a sellout, surely, will it?
Yeah, it is a sellout. Yeah.
6:30
C-Bus. Titans take on the Bronx. Titans are the same 19.
Yeah.
Broncos, Payne Huss, he's been named. Look, there's no guarantee.
Unlikely starter.
He's been named.
They're putting pressure on him to play, clearly.
Yeah, but Gemmett and Jesse, well, I don't know about that. He's saying he's right. They've got a couple more days. They're going to see.
We don't know.
He's been named.
Well, you're in the
I don't actually think he'll play as well, but
Why don't you think he'll play?
I think.
Have you been down to training?
No, well, they're training today.
Right.
This afternoon at 4:00.
Are you going to that?
No. I got my daughter's formal on in Toowoomba.
Oh, cool.
Over Dobbin. We're coming for you. I'm being a dad for the day.
For a couple of hours anyway.
Yeah, Broncos. Excuse me. Broncos take on Titans. Payne Huss returns. Jesse Arthur's Gemmett Shibasaki.
Yeah.
Reece Walsh plays his 100th game.
Not for the Broncos, 100th NRL game, right? So, I think the Broncos have got too much for the Titans down there at home. They'll put up a good show. They always do, the Titans. Their defence was better last week against...
If they don't get roped in. This is the problem with the Titans. The Titans rope you in and get you down in the gutter.
I think they're a bit of a different side. They're a bit more conservative with their attack. They're not as sort of free flowing as such.
Yep.
And I think the changes in the halves, I think Brimson's definitely, he's not a 6, so he went pretty good last week up against Val Holmes. He did a great job defensively and with the ball. Yeah, I think the Broncos will win, but they won't have it all their own way. They'll have to work hard for the win, maybe get away with it late in the game. Reece Walsh is the key, obviously, again, for the Broncos. A couple of changes in their back line, which won't... Jesse Arthurs is a NRL player, definitely, and Shivers is back where he belongs in that side. So, yeah, I'm going to tip the Broncos.
Tell me about Reece Walsh. Is he the best player to reach 100 games? Like, I know, there's a lot of good players, but like you said,
young player,
like you think about what he's done in 100 games. Played in 2 grand finals, won one of them. He's played Origin.
Yeah.
Played for his country.
Yeah.
He's dominated the media and social media. Like he's
got the most followers.
On Instagram. Like what I'm saying is
he's
for 100 games. This kid is, and I hate using it. He's a superstar.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah.
He has changed the way people look at rugby league. He's brought a whole new fan base in. He's brought more eyes on the game. Now, he's compensated. I get that. But he's a footballer.
The thing that people have, and it frustrates me a little bit, but I'm also very happy about it, that people were very critical of him early in his career about the mistakes around him.
Yeah.
Right? You know who's made the most mistakes in the NRL this year?
Who?
Reece Walsh.
Has he?
Yeah. Is anyone saying anything about it?
Nope.
No.
Because you know why? He's a game changer.
Well, yeah. And
he might make a mistake, then he does a chip and chase. He does a chip and chase.
40-20, goal kicks, So...
you can't worry about it, can you? Is it hard, or is there a risk and reward? Do you manage him?
He's only making the mistakes because he's trying his ass off.
Yeah.
You can respect that and appreciate that. It's when players make mistakes and they just don't give a shit about it.
Yeah,
after
I agree. Yeah, that's a very good thing. You're a superstar, Reece Walsh. We're a big fan of you here at Inside Ball. Mate, anytime you want to come onto this podcast.
No, we don't need him, mate. He's not going to bring anything to us.
No.
Just keep playing footy, Reece. That's what you're good at.
No, we do want you. Don't listen to him. Sunday sees the Sharks take on the Warriors. Britton Nicker are back after a broken nose. Mitch Barnett out with a broken thumb. Tough game.
Yeah, very
Easter
tough.
Sunday. I don't know.
Now, the Warriors are sitting in third.
Yeah, you think they're a myth?
No, but the Sharks are... I don't even know whether... But Warriors are third and the Sharks they're in the top 8. Or yeah, they would be, right?
Yeah.
But the Sharks are the favourites to win this one.
I think they are as well. I think
according to all the bookmakers and
look what the West Tigers did.
Agencies.
Look what the West Tigers did to them last week. You'd think. I think.
Yeah, Mitch Barnett's out as well with a broken thumb.
Yep.
Nickera comes back for the Sharks. I'm going to tip the Sharks. They were impressive last week.
I'm tipping the Sharkies.
They were impressive against the Raiders.
They did a job.
They were always in control. From 12-0 lead that they got out to.
Yeah.
And Shark Park is normally a pretty tough ground to go and play at. Yeah. I just feel like they're finding their way, the Sharks, after a slow start to the season. And the Warriors, they're still working things out. Good start, bumping the road, travelling. Yeah, I think this will be a tight game, but I think the Sharks will win.
Yeah, you did right. Okay. Now, when we look at the next game, it's Knights v Raiders. Now, this is a really important game for the Raiders.
Up in Newcastle, this one.
Yeah, there'll be a big crowd there. Knights are flying, but the Raiders really need to win this one. Papali'i back. Newcastle have lost their past 7 games with him. I'm going to tip Canberra because I think Canberra are a lot closer than everybody. I know they've had a couple of losses, but I think Canberra are just trying to work it out. Their discipline hasn't been good, but I think their back 5 is massive for them, and I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah. Well, this is another one. It's a strange one from a predicting who's going to win point of view. So the Knights are sitting in 4th position on the ladder.
They've had 3 wins already.
Right. And the Raiders are 15th. So this is last year's minor premiers, the Raiders, up against last year's Wooden Spooners.
Yeah.
So it's 1v17 from last year, but the roles have been reversed.
Yeah, I mean, it is early. I like Canberra here.
Look, they've got to turn things around, the Raiders, and pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Sticky, he's pretty calm in his presses.
Yeah.
Papali'i comes back for the Raiders, which is a big in for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Raiders can do it, but Newcastle showed a lot of grit last week against the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
But given the green blood that still
Oh, it's in you.
it runs through KW, I'm gonna tip the Raiders.
Yes,
But Ethan Strange, he's got to run the ball more.
100% he does.
Strangey, if you listen to the potty, mate, there's a message to you.
Yeah.
Get the ball and run it because you are a dangerous player and hard to handle. And that's what Fletcher Sharp's been doing for the Knights last week.
Mate, Fletcher Sharp and Fletcher
Two of the
Hart.
best young sixers coming through. That's a good matchup.
That'd be a good game. Who are you tipping?
Yeah, I'm going to go Raiders.
So am I. Easter Monday sees Eels take on the Tigers.
This is a blockbuster, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's not for me.
Have you been to one of these games?
Yeah, I've been to one. I'll tell you what, Tigers are going to win this in a canter.
Tigers to beat the Eels. The Eels are favourites.
No Dory, no Long.
Yeah. How long's Iongi out for?
Yeah, he's syndesmosis.
Right.
I
that was a
think-
hip drop, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've now lost Jermaine Azarko, Jermaine Hopwood. He's
Right.
obviously gone. I think the West Tigers, same 13. Bring it, baby. Bring it. Dewey. In Dewey we trust.
He can do anything at the moment.
Yeah.
He was very good last week, wasn't he, against the Warriors?
Who do you like?
He's an underestimated player, Dewey. He can split
Yeah.
a game up very wide open very quickly.
Yep.
I like the way the Tigers attack, and they got patience with their attack as well. They hung in there last week really well. You know, I think I'm going to have to go the Tigers as well, Dobbo, just on recent form.
Tigers to win this one. I do. Now, questions for Kev.
Right.
They
what have
are.
we got this week?
There's a lot
Make
of
them
them.
easy this week, will you?
There's a lot of questions for Kev.
We
Kev,
won't get through all of them.
Sue in the north, Queensland.
Yeah.
Do you think football teams should be alcohol free during the season?
I think eventually it'll get to that. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I think they might ban
We
it.
see a lot more of it now.
Yeah, I think they might ban
Than
it.
from 5 years ago, from 10 years ago. Not so much ban
Well,
it, but
sports science is
players-
coming into it.
players wanting to just, it's better for them.
Yeah.
Alcohol free, definitely.
What do the Storm need to do to turn around the past 2 weeks in a tough one this week?
They've got to get their edge defence sorted. Their defence has been very much unlike Storm. So they've got a good strike there with the spine and whatnot. It's their defence that needs addressing, which I'm sure. And Craig Bellamy was put it on the individuals more than the team defence to know their roles and get their roles right. So, yeah, they fixed their edge defence.
Which retired player would you love to have on the show? Well,
we've had our favourite on, Alfie Langer.
yeah, we've had Alf. I wouldn't mind getting the King on. The King might come on here, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I think we might try and get the King.
Retired.
He's got to be.
We've had a lot of good.
Yeah, we've had a
guests
lot
on.
of good-
What about someone from down south? What about Joey Johns, the
Mate, love to
immortal?
have him. Or Matty. Love to have them. Love to have them. All right, Kev, with the return of Payne Huss so early, is it a worry of further injury or should we not be worried?
That's not for me to comment on. Only the medical staff. Medical staff at all the clubs, Dobbo. I gave him a rap last week.
Luke Hanning, great bloke. He
Yeah,
wouldn't be letting
very
him go
good.
if he didn't.
No.
Do you think Jesse Arthurs has a chance of staying in the starting side? Good
Yeah, I
question.
do. Open the door up. Jesse's a NRL player. You've showed that history. So, yeah, I think so for sure. Jesse Arthurs, he could find himself permanently in that Broncos lineup for sure.
Who would you like to see most in the grand final? I know this one. You'd like to see a Canberra-Brisbane grand final. That's Kevin Walters.
Yeah, that'd be a good one, wouldn't it? We've
Well,
never
that's
seen
it.
them.
Well,
We've
well,
never seen a
Well, they're your
Raiders.
two teams. That's all I think.
Well, I did do some work for the Storm as well. So
Oh, boo-hoo. You're an assistant coach. You never played for them.
no, I didn't play.
Yeah,
for 'em.
but you, I think.
Look, yeah, that'd be a great grand final.
Am I speaking on behalf of you, or you want to break something else? You
No,
would
that's
like to see with somebody else. Who would you like to see there?
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's not. Okay, as we said, the Clear Mountain Stud, worthy cause, 8,800. This bloody brilliant stallion.
Yeah.
The
brilliant
difference-
stallion this week.
The difference is going to be the hammer.
The hammer at
tomorrow
KO
night
Stadium.
at KO Stadium. Now we'll be dropping a special guest tomorrow. He is.
If you like your cooking,
If he likes
Stay
cooking,
tuned.
and if you're a female, you like a bloke with his shirt off, he's adored by many. We will actually have that tomorrow. That'll be dropping the preview for Inside Ball. Over and out. Have a great Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Have a great Easter. We'll be back Tuesday with a review. But till then, over and out.